The BNZ is closing up almost 40 branches, many of them in small towns around the country, because it says most customers have switched to digital services, in part because COVID forced them to. The Australian-owned bank announced it will shut down 8 so-called metro branches and 30 others in the next 8 months. Among the bricks and mortar locations for the CHOP are Huntly, Opotiki, Wairoa, Balclutha, Kaikohe, Geraldine, Cromwell and Taumarunui. That's despite the BNZ 2 years ago promising to keep all regional branches open until at least 2022. The bank is also axing its branch in Coromandel township. Sandra Goudie is the district mayor and she joins me now. Wow, what does this mean for locals, Sandra?
Well, it means that we don't have a bank facility in Coromandel town, and that's incredibly disappointing, particularly when we've got one of the highest over 65 populations in the country in our district. We are amongst the top 5 visitor destinations, and so our population explodes during the summer period, which is now extended quite considerably prior to Labour weekend and well into March, April. So it's a bit gutting, actually, and I just wonder, if they shouldn't be sticking to their 2022, because we need a bit of lead-in time for people that, and quite a few people, I would suggest, that don't actually do online banking or have those internet facilities.
Well, that's interesting. So the Coromandel branch is, on the calendar to be closed by March 2021, so not that far off. The bank is saying that about 3/4 of customers are, and this is the bank's words, digitally active. So only about 25% aren't, they reckon. Who in Coromandel uses the physical bank?
Well, how would I know? So all I know is that, it's the only facility there in Coromandel town, and so I don't know their figures. I don't know what the accuracy of their figures is.
From what you observe, Sandra, people actually do still go to the branch?
Oh, absolutely.
Where is the nearest bank then, if this closes?
Well, if that closes, the nearest bank is either in Whitianga or in Thames. So you're looking at a good hour away.
Right. So, they did give this public commitment until 2022. So how do you feel about the backtrack?
It's disappointing because at least by making that announcement for 2022, there's time for people to find other alternatives. I mean, to be shutting down in about February or June of next year, what have they put in place to compensate for, allowing, what have they put in place for people to be able to use some sort of facility to do their banking or transactions that they need to do, and especially if they're not IT capable and can't do it online. I just fail to understand how they can sort of start doing that without something being put in place to assist people.
Are ATMs enough?
No, I don't think so, because while they give you the basics, and most people have a basic understanding of ATM, it's the payment of bills and it's all those other transactions, bank transactions, that people go along to the bank to get help with. And there are more people, and I don't really know how many of the population that is, but I think it's more than we think.
So what conversations did BNZ have with you or anyone in the town before it decided to shut up shop there?
I've no idea. Certainly I'm not aware of any conversations or any correspondence that I can recall or contacts that I can recall, because it's been an icon in Coromandel town for so many years that the thought of it actually closing has been just taken the wind out of my sails, and so I'm sure that it will to a lot of other people as well. It's sort of been the go-to bank in Coromandel town, and at least it's still got Westpac in Whangamata.
Yeah, well, Whangamata is going as well, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was really disappointing when they lost another banking facility earlier on, or was it the post office? We're getting a number of rationalised services, and so this is just another one of those same rationalisations that they make, and and you just need lead-in time, and they also need some assistance with a process when there's no longer the bank available.
So when the BNZ closes in Whangamata, how far will those people have to go into a bank?
Probably to the Westpac, because it'll be the only one left. So I would assume that they'll just transfer their allegiance to Westpac and say, well, we'll go to Westpac. They've decided to stay here, so we'll stay here with the Westpac.
Do you think you can do anything about this? Will you try?
Not really. Well, we'll certainly see what we can do for Coromandel Town, because, as I say, that's the only one that's been there. It's been quite iconic. If they can at least leave it until 2022, and there are different social service entities that may be able to step into the breach and then assist people with banking processes. And I'm sure that there'll be a number of people there that can't access banking services online.
Do you feel that the BNZ's letting some of your community down?
Oh, absolutely.
Appreciate your time this morning. That is Sandra Goudie, who is the district mayor there. And the Coromandel township is losing its BNZ, and that's the only bricks and mortar bank left in the town, and it's scheduled to close up by March 2021.